All right, hello everybody, and welcome back. This video is for Sunday, so I do tend to get behind sometimes, but not all the time. So I do apologize. Bear with me as I deliver these videos to you. All right, so we are in Genesis 34. Okay, and went out Dinah, the daughter of Leah, of whom she had born to Jacob. So in other words, Jacob and Leah's daughter named Dinah. Right, and as you see by the title, this is the defiling of Dinah. We will figure out what that means. I'm pretty sure I remember this story. Okay, and she had gone Jacob to see the daughters of the lands. Okay, and when saw her Shechem. Okay, so Shechem's a guy. Okay, and Shechem is the son of Hamor, the Hivite prince. Okay, of the country. Then he took her and lay with her and violated her. Okay, so read that again. Shechem, right? What did he saw? He saw. What did he see? Dinah. Okay, and he took her, right? Took. Let's look at the words. To fetch, to lay hold of, to seize. Now that's an important word because the word seize there would mean to take by force. Okay, how do we know it was by force? Lay with her, right? Have intercourse, and violated her. So something very wrong, against her will, right? And was strongly attracted, his soul, to Dinah. In other words, his desires, but this is soul, so let's look at the context, okay? The living being, right? His emotions, his passions. In this case, it would be his appetites and his emotions and passions, okay? He strongly was attracted to Dinah, so she was very beautiful to him. Dinah was the daughter of Jacob, right? And this Shemek guy, Shechem, he loved her, a young woman, and spoke too kindly the young woman. So spoke Shechem to Hamor, that's his dad, his father, saying, "Get me this young woman." So not only does he take her by force, not only does he hop in bed with her, and not only does he do it by force, meaning to rape her, right? But now he's asking his dad to get this young woman, this as my wife. So now he's like, oh, one time is not enough. I need all the time, right? And Jacob heard what? That he had defiled Dinah. So he had heard, somehow he heard about that Shechem had defiled, okay? Defiled. To become unclean, right? To defile sexually. See right there? The 1C, 1A, sexually, right? Defile her. His daughter Dinah. And his sons, so his sons that Jacob had, were with his livestock in the field. So held his peace, Jacob, until they came and went out Hamor, the father of Shechem, to Jacob to speak with him. So father speaks to father, okay? And the sons of Jacob, right, who were out, came in from the fields. So they came in from outside. When they heard it, when they heard what had happened to their sister, they were grieved. They are grieved, to hurt, to pain, to grieve, to be displeased. Okay, the men, and angry, very angry, and angry very. So basically, very, very angry, because there's the reason. Because an outrage he had committed in Israel. He had committed something very vile in Israel by laying with the daughter of Jacob. Okay, now that would have a couple of meanings. One meaning would be that, you're having sex outside of marriage, right? That would be one meaning of it. But a further meaning would be a Israelite with a non-Israelite, or a person of a different tribe, I guess you would call it. And this thing not done ought to be, not ought to be done. Okay. But spoke Hamor with them, saying, so he spoke with them, that means the dad and the sons as well. And he said, Shechem, my son, longs for the soul of your daughter. Right? Not like I want to make her unalive or anything like that, make her dead. So I'm used to saying unalive because it's on TikTok. For the soul of her daughter, give, please, her to him as a wife. So, right, as a wife. Ceremonial, as a wife. And make marriages with us, your daughters. Give us, and to us, take our daughters for yourself. In other words, let's have a mixture of the bloodlines. Let's have a mixture of the peoples. Let's make a union between us that we can have whoever from either one of our nations, right? So with us you shall dwell, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade in it. So we want to make you a full person within the land. Kind of like a union of people, a union of peoples, and kind of like a more fulfilled. The equivalent would be the same as if you're from another country and you go into the United States. Well, you would be like what Jacob is in this moment, right? But later someone goes, okay, let's make you a full citizen. Now you get all the perks of that country, right? So that's where he's going with it. I want you to enjoy all of the perks of being part of this land, right? And trade in it and acquire possessions for yourself in it, right? And said Shechem to her father, right, and her brothers, let me find favor in your eyes. So Shechem spoke. Shechem was there also. And it's Shechem, or Shechem, something like that, right? Spoke to it. That would be right here. That would be Jacob, because it says her father, not his father. Okay, and to her brothers, that would be Jacob's brothers. Let me find favor in your eyes. In other words, look on me with happiness. Okay. And I will give according to what you say to me. So I will give you anything you want, but give me the young woman as a wife. Notice he doesn't say. Notice here he doesn't say my wife. He says a wife, which would entail that he probably intends on having more than one wife. But answered, so the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, right? So right there, deceitfully. They were lying right to his face, treachery, deceit, and spoke because he had defiled, right there, defiled, okay, Dinah, their sister. And they said to them, we cannot do this thing to give our daughter to one who is uncircumcised. Now they're talking about the Mosaic law, right? Which is that you have to be a circumcised person to be within the same, I guess, family. So like a convert, right? A convert would go into this area and he would be circumcised in order to be unified with these people, right? And that's the lie that they're talking about. That the lie is, hey, we can't do this. It might be a lie, deceitfulness. We don't know. For a reproach would be to us. It would be something scorn, taunt, shame. That would be the proper word for this. It would be shame or disgrace that we do this. But in this, we will consent to you if you will become as we are. If is circumcised of you every male, then we will give our daughters to you. So now they're making a union. Okay, hey, you want this from us? Okay, hey, you're gonna go all the way. You're gonna go full well. You're gonna receive every every particular rule that we have, and you're going to have to deal with all of it. And we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if not, you heed to us to be circumcised. Then we will take our daughter and be gone. Okay? And pleased their words Hamor. So their words made Hamor happy. And Shechem, the son of Hamor, he was also happy. So not did they delay. They did not even delay. The young man to do the thing because he delighted in the daughter of Jacob. He found pleasure in the daughter, pleasure and desire in the daughter of Jacob. And he was more honorable than all the household of his father. And he came Hamor, Shechem, his son, to the gate of their city, and spoke with the men of their city, saying, these men at peace are with us. So we're at peace with these people. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade in it. For the land is indeed large enough. For them, their daughters, let us take to us. Let us be married, I guess you would be called that, as wives. So there's the context. As wives, be married, yep. And our daughters, let us give them only, in this will consent the men to dwell with us, to be people, one, if is circumcised among us, every male, as they are circumcised. Their livestock and their property, and every animal of theirs, will not ours they be. Only let us consent to them, and they will dwell with us, and heeded unto Hamor and Shechem, his sons, all, who went out of the gate. So basically, everyone that was hearing Shechem and Hamor talk, they conceded, right? They heeded, they listened. Who went out of the gate of the city and was circumcised, every single male. All who went out of the city of that gate, every male, no matter what age, they were all circumcised. And it came to pass on that day, on the day third, when they were in pain, they took two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, brothers of Dinah, right? Each his sword, and came upon the city. So Levi and Simeon drew their swords, and they came upon the city. They were still filled with hatred and anger, right? So obviously they're not doing something right. They're doing something very wrong. And they came upon the city boldly, and they killed all the males. And they killed Hamor. And they killed Shechem, his son. They killed with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah from the house. Right? So that means Dinah was given away by Jacob to Shechem as a wife. But here the brothers come and say, no, we're not going to let you have our sister. From the house of Shechem. And they went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and they plundered the city, because had been defiled their sister. So that's why they plundered the city. Their sister had been defiled. Their sheep and their oxen and their donkeys, and what was in the city and what was in the field, they took, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives, they took captive. Right? So they also took all the women of the city, and they plundered. Right? Plundered here, to spoil, plunder, seize, or prey upon. Right? Capture would be the word for that. Even all that was in the houses. And said Jacob to Simeon and Levi. So now Jacob is talking to his sons. You have troubled me by making me repugnant. What is repugnant? To have a bad smell, to stink. Now this would be spiritually, of course, right? To be seen as wicked or disgusting in someone's eyes, right? Repugnant among the inhabitants of the land. Now, in other words, he's going, my sons, what have you done? Now all these people who are in this land, they're going to look on me with disgust because my sons have done this. Among the Canaanite and the Perizzites, since I am few in number. If they unite against me, if they unify against me, and they attack me, then I shall be destroyed, I and my household. But they said, should like a harlot he treat our sister, right? So there's a debate going on between the dad, who is trying to be at peace and go, okay, sure, my daughter was defiled. I understand it was wrong, but let's try to make some sort of good peace out of this. Let's set this to be a peaceful situation. What that's meaning is that Jacob and Hamor, they are going with the idea of, yes, the circumstances was bad, but God can still do something good out of it, okay? Which is a marriage, right? And a union between peoples. The brothers are those who hold on to their frustrations. They hold on to their anger. They hold on to their hurt feelings. They don't forgive. They don't let it go, right? So they hang on to all these things, okay? They hang on to all of them. And they go and they free their sister. In their eyes, they're freeing their sister. But in the eyes of Jacob, they're doing something wrong, okay? So guys, be very careful that the desires that you have don't end up being used by the enemy in some sort of evil way just because you give into your desires.